What's going on, Tribe Nation? Apache here, and I feel like I've been holding out on some information from a lot of people, including my YouTube channel, for a long time, and it has to do with reducing your recoil greatly. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there how to, have better aim, how to win more gunfights and things like that, but this is something that I've just noticed myself after playing for nearly a decade now from COD 4. And this is something that seems to occur in a majority of Infinity Ward games, but not so much in Treyarch games, so just big disclaimer. And with the current title being Infinity Ward games, I figured I would show you guys and just come clean. I think I've only told like 2 or 3 people that I used to play competitive with like way back in the day. So what it is something that I like to call trigger tapping. Now obviously if somebody's at a greater distance away from you, it's always a smart idea to tap your trigger. However, in Infinity Ward games, I've noticed both in Modern Warfare Remastered, Infinite Warfare, all the way dating back to the original Call of Duty 4, if you tap your trigger, especially with submachine guns, because recoil affects submachine guns a lot more than assault rifles most of the time, not only will it reduce your spread, it will reduce your recoil, save you ammo, and actually win you more gunfights, but the gameplay can show it a lot better than I can say it. Now, the way you do this is that you basically just tap your trigger, and just like you're shooting at somebody with a Desert Eagle or an M9 or any kind of pistol, instead of just holding your trigger down. Now, if somebody is within like a 5-foot radius, and recoil doesn't really matter, of course, hold your trigger down and just spray them. But if somebody is, let's say, like 10, 15, 20 feet away from you, in order to reduce the recoil spread, save ammo, and just every single bullet that hits that person is going to count for the kill, instead of just spraying, missing here and there, it can actually win you gunfights. And just to kind of get my point across to you guys, I'm using the MP5 on the map Bog, which usually wouldn't be too great of an idea because Bog is a big map and it's meant for ARs and sniper rifles. But by tapping my trigger, if anybody's within like 10 feet away or mid-range, then I can still win these gunfights against M16s, M4s, RPDs, and things like that. So it's not necessarily that much more of a challenge. Now, if somebody is, like I said, directly next to me, or they're just like right there in my face, of course I'm going to hold the trigger down, because at that point it's just a spray and pray situation. And it might actually look that I'm just holding the trigger down and going full auto, but by repeatedly tapping the trigger, it looks like it's the gun's full auto, but really it's stopping for a second and then it continues. What happens in a lot of Infinity Ward games is the first few bullets to come out of your gun, there's very little recoil. But after you get like halfway through your clip, the recoil just climbs. It climbs at an extremely high rate, and I actually have 3 guns to demonstrate this with. So for anyone out there who already knew about tapping the trigger reducing recoil, something you might not have known is that they don't have to be a football field away for this to work. It can work at medium range, as opposed to most of the time you might do this at long range. And I'm going to show you the difference up close on the wall here, and I think that's where this is going to sell to most of you guys who are still a little skeptical to this. So what you're going to see first is the MP5, and like I said, it handles the first few bullets pretty well without recoil, but after it gets going you can have a problem, but tapping the trigger vastly reduces the spread of the bullets. The second gun is the P90, and I picked this gun because it's really good, but it's another gun that packs some recoil. I shoot my first go and it ends up flailing around a bit, but trigger tapping seems to solve most of this gun's recoil issue. Lastly, I tried out an assault rifle. Now here's a surprise, being the M4, and this was a difficult to test gun because ARs are meant for long range, and up close you really don't see much of a difference. However, tapping the trigger still reduces the spread of the bullets a little bit. So to wrap this video up, if you didn't already know about this, give it a try. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. But it could possibly boost your KD from being like a 1.5 to a 1.75. If you already knew about this, then try it at a closer range than you have been. As you've seen, I was just standing there just directly in front of the wall, and it had a really big difference. They don't have to be directly across the map. But you know what? this isn't going to win you every gunfight. You're going to get shot in the back. There's just going to be a nade that falls out of the sky and kills you. This is just a really small thing that could actually win you quite a bit more of your gunfights and actually boost your performance. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like or subscribe. I'm trying to hit my first 100 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it. But as for now, I'll see you guys later.